Welcome to the first of the basic Excel skills videos. First up though, let's have a look at a file that we're heading towards. So this is a file, a markbook file. So we've got a student column, we've got assessment tasks 1 to 4. This is actually a HSC file from a couple of years ago. I've just deleted the names. You can see assessment 1 is worth 15%, assessment 2 25%, assessment 3 20%, assessment 4 40%. We've got a totals column, we've got the student's rank and a prediction of their band. So this is what we're heading towards. But first up, we need to practice just adding some numbers in Excel, plus some other really useful skills. So to do that, we'll need to get up a blank worksheet. If you've already got an Excel spreadsheet open, you could go through the Windows symbol and choose New Sheet, but you probably don't have an Excel spreadsheet. So we can go through Start button, and we can go Programs, Microsoft Office, and then choose Excel from there. Or on your Start button, you may have either an Excel option or a thing that says New Microsoft Office document, and then you can choose blank worksheet from that spot. So there's always a number of ways you can do things on a computer. First thing you should do when you've opened any new document is to save it. That saves the catastrophic accidental losing of a file that hasn't been saved. So to do that, you can press the Windows button and choose Save, or in this case Save As. It doesn't actually matter. We'll talk about the difference between those two later. And then you choose to save it somewhere. We're just going to call this worksheet Test. And next we're going to enter some numbers. So just follow me with this one, but start in any cell in the A column on the left there. You might as well use the same numbers as I am. We'll pretend these are test scores. So we've got 4 tests there, and we need to sum those scores. We need to add them up. Now the easiest way to do that is to highlight the cells. And to do the highlight, just click on one cell, left click, and then drag. So with those cells highlighted, we just need to find a formula button or a sum button. So this is what I'm looking for here. And formulas, let's click on that tab. Auto sum, that'll do it. And there you have, in the last cell there, we've now got the sum total of those 4 test scores. Just watch that again. Auto sum. There you have it. Let's check the formula of that cell. And you can see that a formula starts with the equal sign, sum, in brackets A3, which is the first cell, that's where 23 is, colon D3. Now let's have a look at how we can edit the text or the font. We can change the font, we can do all sorts of things. We can center, so simply highlight the numbers, then you can choose, go off the Home tab though. The Home tab is where all the basic normal things that we do exist. So there I'm centering, bolding, changing the size to 12, unbolding, and you can do a whole lot more. Now, given that these are test scores, we actually need a blank column on the left, and so this leads us into a really useful skill, which is inserting a column. So just click on the A tab at the top, that highlights the whole column, and then we need to find insert. So you can see insert is over there at the top right. Click that and we've got a new inserted column, and we're going to write Joe next to the 23 because these are Joe's scores, then Tom, and then Mary. Note that Mary was a mistake because it didn't have the capital M, so I've just inserted the cursor and deleted and then entered the capital M. Now the other thing we're going to need to do is put some titles to our table. So it's the student column, and then assessment A, next column assessment B, and so on. But we actually need another row between those titles and the actual students, because we need to have the totals of each assessment task. So we need to insert a row, and the way we do that is to click the row below where we want the insert to occur and then go up to insert. Now we're going to write in the totals, and I'm just making these up. The totals of each assessment task. Let's say the assessment A was 25, assessment B was out of 50, assessment C was out of 45, assessment D was out of 80, and let's have a look at what the total is for that. So we highlight those first 4 cells, go to auto sum, which is on the formulas tab, auto sum, there it is, and then let's recenter those numbers on the home tab. I'm just going to do some bolding and more centering. Now if you can follow me on this one, I'm just going to add Tom's scores and Mary's scores. Center those scores. Now let's have a look at how we can get the totals for Tom and Mary. Because we've already got some totals above, we don't have to go through that process again. We can simply highlight the 167, and notice there's a toggle there on the bottom right hand corner of the cell. All we need to do is to grab that, left click as we grab that, and drag down, and then that formula is copied all the way down. It's a very cool function. Now let's add some grid lines to this this box. So I'm going to choose all borders, and now we have a nice table. I'm going to change the color of the font, and I'm going to change the fill color from white to light blue. And change the font size. The next thing I want to look at is how to change the width of a column. Note the column on the left, we might want to change the width of that. All we do is we just go up the top there and grab, using left click, just grab a divider and move it. But a really useful thing is, what if you wanted to adjust the width of all 5 of those columns? Well, we highlight all 5 and then just move one cell across. Also, same deal for adjusting the heights of the rows. So you might want to replay that little bit of the video again if that was a bit quick. Now I want you to recreate exactly this same table for practice. Now the cheats way of doing that, which is actually a useful skill in itself, is just to highlight the whole cell, copy. Now I'm going Control C, and then click a cell and go Control V to paste. If you're not used to the shortcuts on the keyboard, what you can do is do that again. So I'm just going to double click in space so as it stops copying. I'm going to highlight the whole table again. Then right click and copy. Then click on another cell somewhere, right click, paste. And notice that the cell I clicked on ends up being the top left hand corner of the new table. So copy and paste is really important in Excel. It's a handy thing to know. I'm just now using Control Z to go back to the original table, and what I'd like you to do now, if you haven't already created one table, then create that one and perhaps do a second one. Or if you have been creating that, then just see if you can do that again on your own. Now have fun with that. Then you can go into video 2.